UK's original rock authority, Virgin Radio. Classic rock.
Hello, kiddies. This is Alice Cooper on the original rock authority, Virgin Radio. Classic rock.
Alice Cooper here, giving your Monday night a nice kick in the groin. There you go. Oh, that felt good. So I'm very excited to announce that my radio show is now airing in London. Tonight's the first night that we're airing in the UK on Virgin Radio. So it's my Virgin night on Virgin Radio. I'll be gentle. So that means now I have to say nice things about the Brits. Actually, you don't. The more nasty things you say about the stars over there, the more they love it. Again, you have to remember, these are all my friends. Or they were, until after the show. See how politically correct I am? Actually, I'm politically incoherent, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'll be doing a bonus edition of Cooper's Covers in just a few minutes. But first, why don't we start off this hour with one of my favorite British combos? Because they're so good. And I'm really pandering to the British audience tonight. Okay, they're a bunch of queens. Hey, you're back on a Monday night. The most psychotic, prolific mutant on the radio, Alice Cooper. That's me. Hi, Britain. Hi, guys. I'll be seeing you guys in November, by the way. New show, new album, and I'll be unashamedly hype myself. But still, I'm here in Australia, which is a huge jail for you, from what I understand. You just send everybody over here you don't want. I think you sent the Thompson twins here in 1986. Still on the world tour, which is grossing hundreds of billions of dollars in the end of the year. That's actually hundreds of billions of pesos, which means I can buy a new watch and maybe some Fruit Loops. That was Back in Black by AC/DC, which we haven't heard for at least 8 minutes. I don't know how you survive without hearing AC/DC all day. I mean, I have to carry headphones with me just in case. You know, I might be in a store, or I might be doing an interview, and that 7-8 minutes starts coming up, and I start going, where are they? Where are they? Where's AC/DC? And I put the earphones on and go, oh, thank you. Okay. But you can send me an email at alicecoopernights@yahoo.com if you've got something truly amazing to say, or if you think AC/DC should stack up all their money end to end and then jump off of it. I'll be right back with more music and the Misters right after this very short break. That was The Who with I Can See for Miles, which has got the greatest opening of any song. I always say that, but listen to it. It's just got the greatest rock and roll opening. I'm going to steal it someday. Maybe I already have. Yeah, I think I did for Elected. Well, according to a new article in GQ magazine, Saddam Hussein is a nice guy who eats Raisin Bran every day, and he's a clean freak. The magazine interviews say his 3 American guards at the prison in Iraq did an article, and they were recently released from duty. They say he's very polite. He gave them fatherly advice, and he even invited them to stay in his palace in Iraq once he's restored to power. Of course, he had 2 pieces of bacon hanging from his ear, and he was wearing a diaper at the time. So he's a little crazier than I thought. So he really sits there going, I'm going to be restored to power back in Iraq. Stranger things have happened. I mean, O.J. Simpson is walking the street, and so is Michael. You never can tell. Oh, well, Michael had a better chance than O.J. O.J., I mean, I don't want to talk about O.J. Okay, Saddam, if everything's true, what they say about Saddam, he's one of the most brutal characters of all time. And his sons were worse. So this guy is probably having a better time in jail in America than he was having over there. At least he has Raisin Bran. It's something we don't get. We don't get Raisin Bran. Jeez. He's having the time of his life. And he's wearing diapers. We don't get diapers. Well, if you're online checking out Saddam in his underwear, kindaturnsmeon.com, take a minute and write to me at alicecoopernights@yahoo.com. Dave's a sick boy. And listening to Nights with Alice Cooper. Did I actually just say that? Saddam in his underwear, kindaturnsmeon.com. There probably is one of those. Well, I'm on the Gold Coast in Australia tonight, and I'll be heading to Brisbane in just a bit. All of you geography buffs, I want you to go find your little globe and find your little map of Australia and go, there's Brisbane. I love Brisbane. That's where I was at. See, Australia is a big country. It's huge. It's almost the size of the United States. So traveling around here can take some time, but I have my magic jet. which zips me around anywhere I go. And I make the band pay to get on the jet. I say 2 golf balls and you can get on. When you're a rock star, then maybe you can have a magic jet too. But I don't see that happening. I can see you in your little Jetta going, I gotta go to work. Anyway, I'll check my email in a few minutes, so go ahead and email me at AliceCooperNights@yahoo.com. But first, why don't we start off with a song from Tom Petty? Because he's looking more and more like Skeletor every day. I need to know.
Okay, we get emails that sometimes even stun me. Richard just read this one and fell on the floor, and he's in convulsions right now with a grand mal seizure. Dear Mr. Cooper, I listen to your show every weeknight, and I have been trying to find out the little song that you sometimes play called Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Can you please play it and let me know who is the artist so I can have a copy for myself? I can't get help but laugh out loud at work whenever I hear it. It would be very grateful. Thank you. Signed, Al American, a loyal fan. Oh, man. You know, we're going to have to go deep to find this one. Why don't we do it in the road? I used to know this. Oh, it was the Beatles. Duh. Are you kidding me? You didn't know Why Don't We Do It in the Road was the Beatles? Please tell me you were kidding me. I'm really hoping, Al American, a loyal fan, that you know that's the Beatles. Because if you didn't, wow. What planet are you from? Okay, you know what? I'd like to hear that song. So we are going to play it for you. And it's the Beatles. Right now, Al's going, Beatles. No, that's not it. No.
And that was Alice Cooper with Elected. Jeez, I wrote a song just like that way back there. But that was when I was binge drinking. Believe it or not, I used to be an alcoholic. Well, that's if you consider a case of beer and a bottle of Seagram's VO every day an alcoholic. I mean, might have just been like pleasure drinking, I'm not sure. But it was a lot of alcohol. It's been 24 years since I've had a drink. I had a blood test yesterday. The doctor said I was still legally drunk. It's unbelievable. I didn't think of myself as an alcoholic. I thought of myself as just a rock and roll star, or, maybe a problem drinker, but certainly not an alcoholic. But yes, I was an alcoholic, and proud of it. But gone now, 24 years. Thank you very much. Well, if you have a comment or question for me, or if you drink a gallon of whiskey before you go to work every morning, what kind of job do you have? That's what I want to know. Go ahead and email me at AliceCooperNights@yahoo.com. Don't move. There's a lot more music coming up after this short, just a short little shot break.
When you hear these songs by these bands, the UK's original rock authority, you can't help but close your eyes and focus on each part of the musical genius.
That's the way you do it.
It can only be Virgin Radio Classic Rock.
That was Led Zeppelin with Whole Lotta Love, which was their most successful song in their career. I didn't know that. Wow. That's the most successful song. They were actually sued by Willie Dixon over that song because the lyric and the riff were taken from him. For some reason, I can't see an old black guy going, you need fooling, I ain't fooling. And hold our love, I got a whole lot of love. And especially the guitar solo. I can't imagine him doing the guitar solo with all the effects on it. But that didn't seem to hurt Led Zeppelin too much. They still went on to make $8 billion. I think he made $42 on the lawsuit after paying his lawyers. He was very happy about that. That buys a lot of Pagan Pink. Anyway, don't forget you can email me at AliceCooperNights@yahoo.com if you have a comment or a question or a wart, or if you want to sue me for ripping off your high school band. Everybody wants to sue me. First of all, they hand me a tape. They give me a tape and they go, listen to my songs. And I never do. I got to be honest with you. I never listen to these things. And then 2 years later, I'm writing a song and somebody writes me a letter saying, you stole my song. And I have no idea who you are. You're probably not even in a band anymore. Probably working as a janitor in a school. And I stole your song. Well, all rock and roll is derivative. If there's 3 notes the same, the guy goes, you stole my song, and it had 3 notes like that. So quit suing me, all right? Go sue Kiss. They're much more viable than me. I'll be right back with more music plus This Day in Rock after this short little break. This Day in Rock, 36 years ago today, June 27th, 1969. My band is starving in L.A., and the Denver Pop Festival opens at Mile High Stadium. Violence breaks out in the 50,000-plus crowd, and police move in with clubs and tear gas. I mean, that didn't go over well at all. And the hippies, all they had was incense. They had incense and tie-dye, and somehow the hippies won. The festival's last day is the last concert for the Jimi Hendrix Experience. If anybody would have known that was going to be the last concert for Jimi Hendrix, imagine there would have been 1 million people there. I would have gone there. I had no way of getting there. Anyways, if he would have known that, he would have gone directly into manic depression. It's Monday night, your least favorite night of the week, and you're on tour with me, Alice Cooper. Just think, you come home from work and you go, I'm going to go to Australia tonight with Alice. Let's throw some shrimp on the Barbie, or throw Barbie on the shrimp, and barbecue them all. Australia has been great so far. The show, we're doing a theater show over here, all theaters, which is great. The Stones just played this theater we played in Sydney. And so we said, well, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. So we went in there 2 nights. I think they played 1 night there. And the show just works so well in theaters. I wish we could do all theaters all the time. I'm here on the Gold Coast tonight when we'll be heading to Brisbane and all over the country before heading to Portugal on July 9th. So, once again, go to your little map and say, where's Portugal? And then go, oh, that's nowhere near my house in Kansas. And if you don't know where that is, if you still don't know where that is, it's across the big blue thing. That's called the ocean. And then there's this other landmass. Never mind, you don't know how to read a map. Anyway, I've got some trivia coming up in just a few on ELO, who somehow fell through a crack in the earth and it was never seen again. But first, let's start off the hour with a band that makes me want to throw up kangaroo meat all over the place. Here they are. Rush, New World Band. ELO trivia, just about everything. What 2 traveling Wilburys did Jeff Lynne produce after the supergroup disbanded? Answer, Roy Orbison and Tom Petty. Skeletor. After the Wilburys won a Grammy in 1988 and decided to move into separate directions because somehow success wasn't good for them. You win a Grammy, you go, let's break up. Yeah, why? Well, because we won a Grammy. We better never make a record again. I don't know if they got into the Wilburys to avoid success, but, you know, you put George Harrison and Petty and all these guys in one band, I'm sure something's going to happen. Bob Dylan, not too bad a band. Jeff Lynne produced the album Mystery Girl for Roy Orbison and Full Moon Fever for Tom Petty, which all did very well. Evil Woman, ELO. What do they know about evil women? Come on, ELO. They probably had very tame secretaries who end up being evil women and nurses. As I said before the song, Jeff Lynne from ELO produced lots of bands back in the 70s and 80s, including George Harrison, not bad. Tom Petty, okay. Brian Wilson, Brian Wilson let somebody produce him, that's weird. He's one of the best producers in the world. Randy Newman, okay, because Randy's a good little songwriter, and not much of a producer. And plenty more. Some artists are just amazing producers, and some think they're amazing producers. It's that ego thing. Everybody thinks I'll get in the studio. If I could just produce my own album, and then after they get done producing it, it sounds like crap. And then they go, you know, I'm going to turn it over to a producer next time because I don't want to wear too many hats, you know. Yeah, what it really means is I really made a crummy album. I don't really want to produce my own albums. What I do, I help the producer by sitting there going, that sucks. That's good. That's good. That sucks. That's good. And at the end, he takes credit for knowing everything, for saying, oh man, look how good I am. And I made it just how Alice liked it. Not mentioning the fact that I was once sitting there going, that sucks. That sucks. Oh, that's good. Well, if you have a comment or question for me, or if you're producing something in the bathroom right now, and you want to name it Fred or Chuck, go ahead and email me at alicecoopernights@yahoo.com. More music, emails, and of course, more producers gone wrong. Producers gone wrong. Alice Cooper here at the beginning of the week in Australia. This whole tour thing is pretty cool, right? You've never been on tour before. You always wondered what it would be like. Well, here you are on tour. If my voice sounds a little scratchy, it's because I scream for 2 hours a night on stage while dancing around, putting my head in a guillotine. So cut me some slack, all right? Or cut me some slacks. Nice black ones with a little cuff in the end. Well, let's get back to the music. That was ZZ Top with Give Me All Your Lovin'. That was a title that they borrowed from Paul Rogers. ZZ Top are celebrating their 36th anniversary together this year with a big summer tour and some quiet romantic dinners to celebrate their anniversary. I think they're giving each other their little diamonds and roses. And they're on the road right now for 24 weeks covering the U.S. and Canada. These guys don't play too many shows overseas because they have to book a whole separate plane ticket for their beards and probably have criminal records, and they don't like that overseas. I don't know. How would I know if they have criminal records? They probably don't. Well, if you have a comment or question for me, or if you just found Osama bin Laden inside your beard, email me at AliceCooperNights@yahoo.com. You're listening to Nights with Alice Cooper in honor of ZZ Top's 36th anniversary. I'm not going to shave my legs for 36 years. Back with Alice Cooper on his world tour. That's me. You're on my tour with me. How cool is that? I'm not in my usual crap hole studio tonight. No, I'm here in the land down under. And I'm still having a hard time getting used to everything being upside down here. You check in your hotel room, beds on the ceiling. TVs are upside down. It's really weird. Once you get used to it, though, it's okay. Except, of course, for the poisonous wombats. They're starting to annoy me, and the 12-foot crocodiles that's under every bed. Every time you walk down the street in the nicest malls, and there's crocodiles everywhere. And they're trying to bite your legs off. But other than that, it's great. Anyway, I've got a great edition of Cooper's Covers coming up in a few. But first, don't worry, I'm not going to play Men at Work. I'm not going to play one of those bands. Even though I did discover a band here that I'm going to play on Future Classics, a band called the Whitlams. They're very good, very, very good. Never made it to the States, but this band is really, really cool. Why don't we start with a song by the Police? I think it's about somebody named Roxanne. I'll have to ask my band if they know this Roxanne person. Here's the Police. Cooper's Covers. Well, tonight I found another great George Harrison cover from the tribute album Songs from the Material World. Doesn't that sound like it would be a Madonna album? I don't know why. Which was released shortly after George's passing. And not long ago I played you Leslie West's version of Harrison's Old Brown Shoe. And I also played the little-known but hard-rockin' band The Masters of Reality with special guest Scott Whelan on Future Classics. But tonight I have the Masters of Reality covering George Harrison's songs Devil's Radio on tonight's Cooper's Covers.
Entertainment, money, terror, war, horror, pop star, cash out, new car, radio, download, TV.
That was George Harrison's Devil's Radio covered by the Masters of Reality on tonight's Cooper's Covers. Scott Whelan was in that band, somewhere between Rehab and Relapse. But apparently, Scott is now clean and sober for good. The Velvet Revolver seems to be doing great. I'll tell you what, one of the surprisingly great albums of the year. I was very surprised that these guys, normally when bands like this get together, they underachieve. This album is actually very good. It's hard when you put together a group of ex-drug addicts and then have a hit record again. Somebody that knows them, I mean, I know them, but I don't want to call them up and say, do a live album from Rehab. Be the greatest thing in the world to go into like a hospital, a rehab hospital, and your whole audience is people that are just getting off drugs, and do a live album there. Can you imagine the audience's response? Pills! It's pill time! Well, if you have a comment or question for me, or if you've seen Scott Whelan, Chasing the Dragon, go ahead and email me at AliceCooperNights@yahoo.com. Stay tuned for lots more music, more me, more drug references, some that I'm not even aware of. It's me, Alice Cooper, and I'm coming to you from the Gold Coast in Australia. I'm looking out the window right now, and I'm looking at a boat, a tugboat, going down this beautiful river, and there are 8 kangaroos skiing from the back of it. It's something you don't see in Arizona. I didn't know why it was called the Gold Coast until I got here. Everything is made of gold. It's amazing. The streets, everything. The Taco Bells, they're all made of gold. Even the people. Anyway, let's get back to the music before you figure out that I'm lying to you. Oh, wait, How about a song from the man who we once considered the biggest liar in rock? Now we know he's just a confused little boy stuck in the body of a blind rocker. John Kay and Steppenwolf. Here's that famous song, Swimming to New York with my teeth on fire and the Nazis chasing me on my magic carpet. Pink Floyd with Learning to Fly. We're less than a week away from the big Pink Floyd reunion show for Live 8. Did I not predict this? Right after the Cream reunion, did I not say a lot of big bands are going to get back together? I said Pink Floyd. I think I said the Police, which probably isn't far behind. They're all viable. They're all right out there. And I guarantee you're going to see. In fact, I'm very surprised that Live 8 doesn't have the Police reuniting. I'll have to talk to Geldorf about that. Also, I have to talk to him about the fact that I wasn't invited to be on that show. I'm in Europe. Come on, I'll be on Live 8. Or maybe I'm just got bad vibes or something. The show is this Saturday in London, and you'll be seeing it on VH1, MTV, CMT, BET, and every other music station that exists. An interesting story in the paper today. Bob Geldorf didn't say who he was talking to, but one of the people, he was saying, please don't bash Bush. He said, we want Bush on our side in this. We want Bush to be one of us on this. We do not want to bash Bush on this. It's a very smart thing to do. Why not make your enemies, especially powerful enemies, your powerful partners? So Bob Geldorf is a lot smarter than Mary Geldorf, who lives in down the street here. Well, I got to take a break, but you can send me an email at AliceCooperNights@yahoo.com if you think you have something important to say, or if you think Pink Floyd should eat their instruments on stage during Live 8. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I got my fun and freaky facts coming up after this break, so stick around. I'll be right back. Freaky facts. Okay, it's time to put on your thinking caps and absorb all this useless information I'm about to dump on you. Are you ready, Chuck? This is stuff you're going to need on the bus today. Here we go. Yuma, Arizona has the most sunny days of any city in the USA. On an average each year, there are 332 sunny days. So let me guess, there's probably more skin cancer there than anywhere in the world. They didn't mention that. The world's termites outweigh world's humans 10 to 1. Now, does that mean they weigh more? Or that there are that many more of them? I don't know. Windmills always turn counterclockwise, except for the windmills in Ireland that are so drunk that they turn the other way. A hedgehog's heart beats 300 times a minute on average, unless he's in the presence of Richard Gere, and then it goes 500 times a minute. Camels have 3 eyelids to protect themselves from blowing sand. The placement of a donkey's eyes in its head enables it to see all 4 feet at all times. Now that really works if you've ever been down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and you take the donkeys up, they walk on the edge. They don't walk on the inside of the trail. They walk on the edge of the trail. So one slip and you fall a mile. It's really exciting. And now nobody has ever fallen off a donkey, except, I think, a couple of drunk guys from Australia. A mole can dig a tunnel 300 feet long in just one night. So these are the ones you want in jail. If you're going to get thrown in jail and they say, what do you want to take with you? Say, I would like a mole, please. A huge mole, like 6 feet tall. You can, and you'll be out in 3 weeks. You'll be gone. Ancient Egyptians slept on pillows made of stone. And ironically, now we buy pillowcases made of Egyptian thread that are the softest pillows you can have. So how strange is that? They probably had stone pillows and really soft pillowcases on them. Never figuring that one out. A quarter has 119 grooves on its edge. A dime has 1 less groove. And that was to commemorate the Kennedy assassination. No, it wasn't. It just popped into my head. And finally tonight, a hippo can open its mouth wide enough to fit a 4-foot-tall child inside. And so can Mick Jagger. Here's Bitch, the Stones. That was Hendrix with Hey Joe. For those of you who never met Jimmy, everybody raise your hand, ones that met Jimmy. Oh, nobody. Okay. I did. He was a great guy. And he smoked more weed than Snoop Dogg and Woody Harrelson combined. I mean, come on, this guy was just he had a joint in each ear, 1 in each nostril, 5 in his mouth, and I won't even go any lower than that. Well, if you care, or if you're smoking your own weight in pot right now, well, guess what? One marijuana joint has got 8 times the tar that a cigarette has. So don't think you're smoking grass and going, I am so much healthier than everybody that smokes cigarettes. Because, no. Your lungs right now looks like a grape. I mean, it looks like a raisin. Not a grape. A grape is full of stuff. A raisin is just all dilapidated. So that's you. You heathen, pagan, drug addict, you.
The UK's original rock authority, Virgin Radio.
Well, thank you very much to the one and only Alice Cooper.